Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in this video we are gonna take a look at the very first Cosmos fight in the global version of the game, and this is on the Beast of the Ice Cave Cosmos difficulty. Now, before we do start, I am kind of wondering what you guys would like me to do when it comes to these video guides, of course. Now that we have the Cosmos difficulty, I was wondering if you still want me to cover the EX versions of the fight. Obviously, they will be two separate videos, and what I might do is I might compile all the abilities and whatnot, and more so the general tips for the EX on one video, and probably in the Cosmos I might do it the same style as I do it with other events, where I just sort of have a voiceover over watching the video and some of the strategies that might be different in the comparing both EX and of course the Cosmos difficulty. Or I can completely forget about the EX because the Cosmos is the new thing, and pretty much Cosmos can sort of cover the EX fight as well, plus or minus, obviously I guess more minus of the characters that you can actually use in Cosmos, because let's be honest, it's not for every character to actually clear Cosmos. It's quite difficult to bring obviously weak characters. I don't really want to say weak, but if they haven't received their rework or something like that, or they're just kind of behind the meta at the moment, then obviously you can't bring them to clear the Cosmos difficulties. So let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, I'm just gonna be covering the Cosmos fight in this video, and like I said, if you guys prefer me to separate them in the next sort of event, or the next character event, or the next Cosmos, or whatever, I will split them in two. So let me know in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's start this video. Okay, as always, we'll start off with the weaknesses, the resistances, and the abilities of the last boss, and this is on the Ice GIGAS. It has weakness to fire. It doesn't have any resistances, but it does absorb the ice element, so make sure not to use any ice element based skills or abilities. For its abilities, it has the Brave Attack, which is a melee brave attack. It has Launch, which is a melee HP attack. Blizzard, which is an ice magic brave attack. Boulders, which is a earth range brave attack, which also inflicts initial brave down, and also increases the turn rate when inflicting a break or attacking a target that is already inflicted with break. Next up, it has Wallop, which is a group melee brave attack. Next, it has Blizzard Fist, which is an ice melee brave attack, which inflicts a speed down and again increases the turn rate when inflicting a break or attacking a target inflicted with a break. And finally, it has Icequake, which is a group ice magic brave attack. The Stolen Brave may exceed its max brave, and this also has a high turn rate. Alright, so now that we know the weaknesses, the resistances, or the absorbing element of the final boss, and of course their abilities, it's time to take a look at some general tips and guides. Now the first one is to save about 60% of your abilities for the last boss. Now honestly, if you can aim for a higher amount, then all the better, because the last boss, they do have a ton of HP. This is the first Cosmos difficulty, so it's like we're going back when we first got the EX. We sort of try not to use all the abilities on the little mobs, and we sort of try and save as much of our abilities for at least the mini boss on the mid-tier wave, the third wave usually, and of course we save it for the last boss. Now the next one is to bring in the boosted characters. In this case it is Freya, Zidane, and Vivi. If you don't have any of these characters built up, other characters that you may want to consider bringing are Golbez, Quistis. Cloud is... I haven't really seen Cloud being used here, but if you can get lucky with his Paralyzed, then all the better. Firion is here as well, especially with his 100% AoE if you have his EX. Jet, of course, is Fire Element and will lay waste to these Gigas. Quistis I added here. She's more of a support type of character, but you can definitely bring your own Quistis and make sure you can delay. Agrius I put here because you can sort of anticipate when it's gonna use its Ice Quake. So if you can time your EX right, then you can paralyze or silence the bosses and they don't end up using their Ice Quake. Next up is Bartz, which is a good Brave Battery, although again I'm not 100% sure how well he will do in this fight since I don't have his EX to actually try him out. Now Paladin Cecil I do believe can be quite useful here. He does have the longevity, and of course he can heal your team as well, plus the debuff that he provides, increasing your defense, just lowers the amount of damage you take from these Gigas because they hit pretty hard. Next is Vincent. I put Vincent here because he is still sort of a good debuffer in a way. The problem with him is going to be longevity, so I'm not 100% sure that you may want to consider him to bringing him. You might have to carry him a little bit, but in saying that, his debuffs are definitely gonna help you here. Next is Rosa, basically your support type character. Then you have Sephiroth. If you have his EX, definitely Sephiroth, one of the strongest DPS that we have. Ishtola I added here because purely if you mess up and die, Ishtola can revive you. Lulu I added here as well. She's pretty good in combination with Jet, of course, and with the Imperial and obviously the Fire Enchant to your entire team is gonna help you out. I did use Lulu on the EX fight, however, I didn't really try enough on the Cosmos difficulty. Next up, of course, our Meta Queen Rinoa, and enough said really, and Kefka is there as well for the debuff plus the blind plus the HP cancellation, the debuff, whatever you want to call it. And finally I have Galuf here as well. I saw someone actually use Galuf, which is quite interesting. I considered putting Warrior of Light here as well because of his shield. You might, you know, it might protect you from getting broken, which is an essential part of your strategy in this fight. So Galuf or Warrior of Light depends who you really want. As for the healers / plus Brave Battery options, really I listed the same characters here, but overall it's gonna be Lena or Bus. Honestly, if you have Lena, it increases your chance of beating this Cosmos difficulty. I don't know who the second tier healer / Brave Battery that I would pick. Probably Freya. I think that's more of a generalized opinion at the moment, that if you don't have Lena, Freya is probably the better choice. Eiko maybe, but I listed them down. You can use them, try them out, but honestly I'm gonna go with Lena here. And of course for this summon there's nothing else but Ifrit. If you don't have your Ifrit maxed out, go ahead and max it out, man. He is probably the best summon right now, at least until next week when Shiva comes out. I don't know how well Shiva's summon is going to be, but overall Ifrit is still the best summon right now. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, it's time to take a look at some tips for the fight itself. Let's start off with the support that you may want to bring. The first one is Jet, obviously for fire reasons. Rinoa, Meta Queen, Kefka if you really want to avoid those HP damage. Plus the blind is kind of clutch at times, especially if they're doing an all attack. You never know. You're testing your luck here with Kefka, but still he is quite useful. And of course you have Quistis support if you want to use your delay tactics. The next tip I have for you guys is to, actually this is for wave 3, is to watch out for the Zidane mannequin. It can still kill you if it uses its stellar circle. Plus, if it has enough leftover brave and you didn't actually break it, the free energy is pretty much able to one hit kill you, and you may have to reset and just start over, and you don't really want that. So overall, just watch out for that Zidane mannequin and you should be fine. And of course, if you have Lena in your team, you shouldn't have to worry about that Lamia's kiss or whatever. Paralyzing your character or charming your character for one turn. So there you go. The next one is the essential tip I can give you guys is do not get broken. Slow and steady wins the race. You can debuff the boss to lower the overall attack as well to help out with the damage output, but do not get broken. I learned this the hard way. I resetted multiple times because I was like, I can just mop the floor with these guys, and no, you should not get broken whatever the cost. You have 90 turns to beat this fight, and if you can help it, just use a brave attack. If they are targeting you, just use a brave attack and make sure you do not get broken. And you may ask, why do you say to not get broken? Well, let me tell you, if you do get broken, this is probably the final tip, is the next attack, the all attack will be Ice Quake, which will pretty much guarantee one of your party member will die unless you're really lucky with the turn order. What Ice Quake does is basically will break everyone. It deals about, I'd say, 7 to 8k brave, or probably more than that. Plus it steals some brave as well that in your party, and it can exceed its max brave, so it will have about 22,000 brave. And if you're unlucky enough to have someone like Lena to actually try and break that, there's no way that she can. There's no way. If you're locked out and probably had your Golbez or your Rinoa in that next turn that can probably break the Gigas, then you got lucky pretty much. But this also has a high turn rate, so they can go ahead and have the next turn straight away and pretty much kill your party. So do not get broken. Alright, so now that we're done with the general tips and guides, it's time to take a look at some possible party compositions. And the first one I have here are the synergy characters, Freya, Zidane, and Vivi, with a Lon and Rain support. You're probably wondering why Lon and Rain, but they do a decent amount of damage, especially if you use them during the summon phase. They do 100% AoE HP attack with their skills. Just do not use their ice and water element attack. So you can use their EX and use the first skill, I think it's the Geo Crush or something like that. Use those and you should be fine to pretty much blitz through the enemy's HP as much as possible. But obviously, do not get broken. As for the summon, of course, it's going to be Ifrit. For the next team that I have here, it's going to be Rinoa, Lena, and Golbez. And this is with the Jet support, as you guys can see in this video. And I have an Ifrit as for my summon. And you're gonna see a pattern here where the next one is Rinoa, Lena, and Jet with a Jet support with an Ifrit summon. And yeah, it's basically gonna be a Rinoa Lena team plus someone else. Rinoa Lena Galuf, Rinoa Lena Sephiroth, which is the next one actually. Rinoa Lena insert character there, because this is probably the best chance you have of beating this Cosmos difficulty. Now of course, I'm not saying this is the only way to beat it. Obviously there are people who will find out different ways to go around this, or I think I've seen someone probably use Lon and Rain. I'm not 100% sure. Someone used Vivi and someone else in combination with someone else, but it's going to be Rinoa, Lena, insert character for the most part. Like, it could be Rinoa, Lena, Zidane, then or Vivi or someone else. It's just gonna be like that. And in all honesty, I'm not even sure if you can beat the Cosmos difficulty with the boosted characters with Freya, Zidane, and Vivi. I can't test this. I don't have Zidane's 35, nor has his EX. I have Vivi's 15 and 35, but I haven't maxed out his 35, and I don't have his EX. And I don't really plan on pulling much for Freya. I might just do a couple of tickets here and there, but overall, I just don't feel like I'm gonna be putting too much into maxing out Freya. So if any one of my viewers, if you guys manage to beat him with Freya, Vivi, and Zidane, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know. Okay, so now we are finally at the end of this video, and of course I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Well, to be honest, I haven't felt this way in a very long time, where I was actually quite frustrated with this fight, but that is like my own doing. It's nothing to do with the fight. It was me being ignorant and not paying attention as well, and not learning from my mistakes earlier on. But overall, if you learned early that the main strategy is not to get broken, then you should be fine with this fight. Now obviously this is gonna be a difficult fight. If you don't have any of the meta characters, it's probably not the fight for you. And in all honesty, it's not the end of the world if you can't beat this Cosmos difficulty. Overall, I suppose the amount of effort you're gonna be putting in here, if you don't have any of the meta characters, compare them to the reward that you're gonna get, it's not really much. You do get like the gems that for clearing it, plus you just get the extra 6 tickets. So if you're a new player and you're planning to tackle this Cosmos difficulty, I would suggest to just pull away from it. If you are pretty close at beating it and decide to use your gems to revive your team, overall you're gonna get like 3 tickets out of that 500 gems, I do believe. Yeah, so I guess it's sort of worth it if you compare. Like 500 gems is one pool, but now you'll get 3 tickets instead. So if you're in that kind of situation, I guess it's kind of worth it. But overall, again, if you're a new player, probably stay away, stick with the EX. You probably have a higher chance of beating that one, and you get more rewards for getting, you know, the right amount of points on that. And I do believe, was it I think it's 360,000 points. As long as you get that, you get all the rewards, plus you get the extra 500 gems from doing that. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get more rewards in the future in the Cosmos difficulty, because I generally don't really, I did play the Japanese version way back, but I just didn't like that I didn't understand what was happening in the story, so I ended up not playing that anymore, and I don't really pay attention much on what's happening in the Japanese version of the game. Sometimes I do, but not all the time, like little things like rewards and stuff like that. I just tend not to pay attention to those. I pay attention more on, oh, this character is good and this is character not good, you know. But yeah, overall I feel like if you've learned the strategy of the fight for this one, which is to not get broken, do not get broken, you should be fine, as long as you have some of the meta characters. Obviously, if you have Lena and Renoa plus insert character here, then I do believe you should be fine. And remember, slow and steady wins the race in this one. Don't worry if you're up to like 80 turns like I have done here, because all you need is the minimum score requirement and you should be fine. And yeah, just heal through if you have too much HP damage as well. But yeah, I think I'll end the video right here, guys. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think of this fight and which team did you use. Is it going to be the meta team, which is Renoa, Lena, insert character here, or is it something else? Surprise me in the comments down below, and don't forget to let me know as well if you still want me to cover the EX fights in the future, because it lets me know how much you guys want to see of my content. If you just want to see the Cosmos difficulty with everything jam-packed in it, or is it you want to split off the EX fight and that's its own entity, and if the Cosmos fight is gonna be its own entity. Let me know down in the comments below, please. And you can always follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.